Hey everybody, this is Miss Florida Hot Picks here, giving you guys an update for Pick 4 North Carolina. We had a request from one of our special members, and I wanted to share with you the 317 rundown. The 3175 rundown. We're working with our Pick 4 games here. So I wanted to share with you a couple things, how to backtrack, okay? As you see here, you'll see a couple days going back. This is something for you to make sure that you're studying and follow along in your state so you can start catching patterns. I too, when I first started, I didn't keep a log like this every day. I would just use a piece of paper, toss it. If I didn't get a hit, called it a day. But you have to, if you want to catch things coming, especially numbers traveling down, you may want to pay attention, especially the things I'm about to share with you. So we're going to backtrack it. I want to show you the first pattern type, and that's one of the easiest ones, and that's when you spot triples or false triples coming across the rundown, okay? So I want to share that one with you first, and then we're going to talk about when you see doubles or mirrors, and sometimes there'll be some really cool hits that come straight up and straight down. And again, you're going to keep a daily log so you can continue to see what's happening and how you would like to look at these numbers, okay? All right, so let's start with September 7th. Again, we're using the 3175. The evening hit or night hit for North Carolina was 8485. So if you're new here, maybe you don't know how to put one of these rundowns together, don't worry. I know that all these numbers could be daunting, but they're very simple. You're going to add each number down the columns. So for the first column, we're going to add 3 all the way down. So 3 plus 8 is 11. When you get to your 2-digit numbers, only use your ones place your 1. Okay? 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. Just use your 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. Use your 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. And 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay? You know you did it right. The number you start with should be the number you end with. Real simple, right? Then you would add 1 all the way down that second column, 7 all the way down the third column, and 5 all the way down the fourth column. That's it. So the first technique that you may want to implement is looking for false triples or triples. Now, triples are exactly what we're saying, like 888, 888, same number. You'll see the mirror of those numbers, 333. Okay, but sometimes you won't know they're triples because they'll be mirrored. That's what we call false triples. Some folks don't know that. So look at this 550. All right, so we got the 550 right here. Okay. All right. So what's going on here? We have the 5, those are the doubles, and then we have the 0. That's its mirror number. 5 and 0, 0 and 5 could be interchanged with one another, okay? So that's what we mean by mirror numbers, okay? So make sure you guys know what those are. Your mirrors are as follows. 0 could be a 5, or 5 could be a 0. 1 could be a 6, 6 could be a 1. 2 can be a 7, 7 could be a 2. 3 could be an 8, 8 could be a 3. 4 can be a 9, and a 9 could be a 4. Those are our mirrors, okay? Those are our mirror numbers, okay, so that you know. Now, one thing about Pick 4 North Carolina, notice that when you guys have your triples, there could be literally, I tell you, numbers coming on the bottom or maybe on the top, okay? So what numbers do we see on the bottom? We have 6, 2, 5. Now this could be telling you the 6, 2, 5 trio, okay, could be hot with some other matching numbers around. And I'm going to give you a hint. Pay attention to the number in front of it, okay? The number in front of it, or maybe its mirror, could be some really hot possibilities. So when you see this, you may want to go 6, 2, 5, 9. Maybe even 4, 6, 2, 5. Okay? You can feel free to use other numbers. I'm not saying you shouldn't, okay? As you're starting to see patterns, you may want to venture off, okay? Now, one thing I will say, don't forget about your mirrors. This is what I mean. You see how this 550 is? It can mirror itself to 005, okay? A lot of people don't know. After a certain point of the rundown, all of these numbers mirror themselves. Like, look at this 8485, okay? After a certain point, it becomes a 3930. Okay, all the numbers will change after this point. Some people love this, some people don't. That's why some people don't deal with mirrors, because that means possibly more options. Okay, and I get that, I understand, but study for yourself, you form your own opinion. Okay, so if I was to do that, I probably would do the 170. Okay, maybe 1704, 17 or 9170, and I will probably hold on to those numbers for a couple of days. I'm saying a couple of days, but what I'm telling you to do is, when you see something around the triples, sometimes they come right away, and sometimes they're going to repeat in different forms until they finally hit. Okay, this 6259 actually plays 6529 a couple days later, or 3 days later, okay, in the nighttime game at 6529, which is high. I like that. That actually hit. It took a couple of days for it to do so. However, when you start studying, you're going to notice that number was traveling. Yes, it was. It was traveling, and we'll show you that in a couple examples down. Let's go to September 8th. Okay, in the daytime, there was a 1268. Again, we're still using that 3175 rundown. I see 333 and 888. All right, so again, just, kind of copying the pattern. Again, we're just copying patterns. That 953 could be hot, so we'll write that down, 953. And maybe just kind of do the same thing, 9532. You notice the numbers are the same here. Same thing with the 333. There's a 408, and they got 27, so I will go 4087 as well. And I will just hold on to that number. Okay, now watch this, pay attention. This 9532 is it hit as 3925 just a day later, September 9th daytime game. Nice. That came a little quicker, right? Yeah, they do. Sometimes they do, Let's see here. This one, there was a little bit of a change, but there was still something that came out of it. Okay, and pay attention when you start seeing like numbers come up again, North Carolina, it could be telling you, pay attention to me. That way you can kind of narrow down what you think you might want to play. So let's go to the night game in North Carolina. All right, on September 8th, there was a 8000. Love that, right? And then you're going to have these triples. So again, I would have thought numbers on top, on the bottom, because that's where the pattern was showing. But be careful. Oh, be careful. They can go to the top as well. Okay, let's look at the 000. Okay, there was a hot numbers right on top of it, 935. So 935, and maybe any of the numbers that it touches. Okay, well, pay attention to that 9352. Remember, this 935, that 2 did play with this pattern. You did see it again with the 2. Okay, this was telling you, please pay attention to me over here. All right, and it hit as 3925, as we stated earlier. So what am I telling you? A lot of times when you see things, they're going to appear a couple times until they actually hit, letting you know they're moving along the rundowns. These numbers are so configured that when they go on the rundown, sometimes you'll see them moving and traveling. And what we want to do is we want to look for movement. I know a lot of people don't like playing like that. They're like, look, Miss Florida, what's happening right now? I want to know. And then if you notice, those numbers, the alignment is off and it doesn't quite hit the next draw, right? There's a reason for it. They have to knock it off for a reason. They're depending on you not to what? Hold on to numbers. They're depending on you to be impatient, play a whole bunch of numbers, and lose your money every day. That's what they want. That's why you have to become a skilled player and you have to study. Okay, am I there yet? No. Am I striving? Most definitely. Anyways, enough about me. Going on. Okay, now this is where things change. Now I want to show you some patterns. So the first one was dealing with triples coming across. All right, what happens when we see, doubles or mirrors on the left side? Okay, and the cool thing about this is numbers can go straight up or down. Watch this. September 9th, there is a hit of 3925. Now notice there's a 7-7 double and a 2-2 double. Sometimes with North Carolina and some other states, you can literally use that 7 and all the numbers going up. You may use it going down, okay? So watch this. You got this 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, pay attention to that. That 7, 6, 5, 4 came 4, 5, 6, 7 a couple days later, day game. Okay, it came literally 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and it literally just took the double and went up the numbers. Sometimes they do that, and sometimes they'll shift a little bit. Okay, let me show you another one where they don't, a couple of them where they don't shift. Let's go to September 10th. There was a hit of 2810. You have double 6. Okay. Now watch this. Remember I said the numbers can go up or down. So you may want to give yourself options. And then of course, don't forget about your mirrors. So 6925, pay attention. 6529 hit. Okay. Now, when you're looking at all these numbers, possibilities, pay attention to some things that happened a couple days before. Okay, especially if they were under triples. Remember, we saw that that 6259 a couple days earlier, and now it shows up with a perfect double. These are things you have to pay attention to. Remember, I told you they're going to show up, and they showed up here, but there was a shift in the numbers. Okay, but it showed up perfectly here, and when it did, it hit perfectly there. Okay, so make sure that you pay close attention to it. Let's see. Let's go to September 10th, 6529. You see a mirror now. This is a 7-2. Okay, 7-2. So we have 765 or 7654 going up. That 456 played. You see, these things they can come back up. You saw it once. It came back again. Here it goes and plays. So this is what I mean about things traveling and moving. Now, I have some other ones that are almost there. I like them where you don't have to shift the numbers, because then you may have to shift up one or shift up something. This is what I mean. Remember this 6529? All right, you see it here. Look at these double twos. You got a 296. Now the 2963, but they went 692 and they dropped down below that. Okay, that's the shifting that can happen. Pay careful attention. I like to use them here. So if you see these kind of numbers and they actually have a double and it shifts perfectly down, this could have been your warning as well. Okay, it happened again here. 296, that 5 shifted down, but then it came perfectly right off the double. Okay, the 457, it did that too. Let me see if I can find one. I think it did. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry, right in front of my face. So you see how the 7654 was perfect. It had a shift right before that. Okay, you got your 654. It didn't go 6543, but it went 654 and it shifted down to 7. Okay, I know this was a lot, so make sure, North Carolina, that you go over this a couple times. Okay, but yeah, there's patterns and numbers sitting right in front of our faces. So take your time with this. Go over it a couple times. Again, when you see certain things, just pay attention to the movement. All right. I hope this was helpful, North Carolina. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you guys on the next video.